The main male character looks like J. Cole, which is why I never picked up this book before. Hello everyone and welcome to Chibi Reading. I am Chi. So the theme of this month is obviously Black history and Black books, but I need to get rid of my Black backlog. I have so many books that I bought by Black authors, by African authors, that I bought or have from so long ago, or that I started reading and never read, or that I've actually had in display because the cover was so pretty and I actually never read it yet. I have a problem. So I am going to be reading specifically Black books that I have that were published. I'm actually not really checking the publishing time, but like that were published like pre-2020, like the older books I have, so I can start like, you know, engaging with the new books, seeing what is on the shelves today, all that stuff. So I have them separated by genre. So here we go. First of all, I only have one thriller that is adult thriller, that is American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson. This has been on plenty of TBR. Set in the Cold War, this girl is asked to be a spy to spy on the revolution currently happening in Burkina Faso. I think it's like a communist revolution, so there's like a lot of political intrigue, spyness. Ooh, I do not know how to describe this book. Can y'all tell? There's a little bit of romance, anything with a little bit of romance, thriller, a little bit of romance, horror, a little bit of romance. I'm gonna read it. This actually sounds so good. Why have I not read it? I have no idea, but it's the only thriller I have, and it's a short read. So yeah, by a Black woman. That's the only thriller I have. I have a bunch of adult fantasy that I've had for way too long and I need to get to. First one is adult fantasy. Is Song of Blood and Stone, El Penelope. This is book 1 to, I think, trilogy. The author is so gorgeous. So it is epic fantasy about a girl. I have a piffed, that is not a word, tiffed? Piffed? I have beef with fantasy authors who make just their world building or the conflict with their world just based on the racism of the current earth, the current world, just like the racism, the anti-blackness that is just present in the current world. And that's pretty much so many fantasy authors. It's just always a thing. Like, you create a whole magic system where some people can wield lightning, some people can control animals, some people can't speak every language in the world, so much, but you still choose to make the thing that ails, the thing that makes the people who are kind of beneath the bourgeoisie, you still choose to make it by skin color. And I think that says a lot about the author. It doesn't count if you're Black though. I feel like you have learned experience and you have just more to create a fantasy world that is, and to utilize your own story at a fantasy world. Honestly, that's actually what I'm gonna say. Because as a white author, you're seeing, or as a non-Black author, I just think it's reckless and I think it's cheap. That is the kind of premise of why the main character of this book is ostracized. So she's ostracized because of the color of her skin, and all she wants to do is live a quiet life. So basically she wants to escape, she wants to leave. She's been ostracized all her life because she is Black, a rebel, or like one of the factions that are at war. So there's two groups that are at war. They wander onto enemy land. They don't know it's enemy land, so they wander onto enemy land. One of the people is a spy. I think that's the main male lead, and they kind of get engaged in this like spy espionage like type of like adventure. This is a thick book. This is a thick book. It's 518 pages, but 518 pages of an adult book are very different than 518 pages of a YA book. Because I read a 600 YA book, 600 page YA book last year, and I swear it was just half the amount of words. So anyways, I love romantasy. I love that this is by a Black author. I love that the main lead girl is Black. I don't know if the main lead man is Black, but romantasy starting off strong. This season by N.K. Jemisin. This has been on no less than 10 TBRs. I just need to read it. Y'all know what it's about. Yeah, I just need to read it. That's it. It's epic fantasy by N.K. Jemisin. Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James. This book is $1.99 at Goodwill, as you can see by this annoying Goodwill sticker that refuses to come off. And I turned it around, I saw that there was a Black man, so it's by a Black author, and the rest was history. I bought it without really knowing anything about it. I'm pretty sure it is book 1 in a trilogy, which is crazy because this is a thick one as well, 600 pages. It's an epic fantasy, I'm pretty sure. Epic fantasy about a band of misfits who are looking for a lost and missing boy who is just really important to, like, I don't know, society for some reason. So they're just a band of people and they all have different fantastical powers. Some can shapeshift, some can, you know, telekinesis. Apparently it's based on African mythology. Don't know which African country, but African history and mythology. Yeah, I'm gonna try to read it. I'm still in my DNF era just because this book is so big, so I'm gonna give it 100 pages. I like to give all books 100 pages before I DNF, so just because I've heard very mixed reviews of this one, but I hope I like it. It sounds intriguing. It sounds good. This book don't come for me too much, The Space Between Worlds. This book is on display in my room. Anyone who's been in my room has seen this book. It's front and center because it's the prettiest cover ever. My favorite color is purple. It's my entire personality. Makai Johnson by a Black woman, and then there's a Black woman, as you can see on the cover. It's so pretty. I forgot I haven't read this book. it's been on display so long I forgot I haven't read it, and that is so embarrassing. It's a sci-fi about a girl who is in this world. There are multiple dimensions and there's multiple people, or you exist in a multiple dimension. So she finds out that all of her counterparts in the other dimensions have been killed, to the point where there's only like 2 or 3 left. So she goes on a quest to jump these dimensions and find out why she's being killed in all these dimensions. That's all I know about it. Sci-fi is my favorite genre in theory. You know how something's your favorite genre, but like all you read is like paranormal romance like me? But sci-fi is actually my favorite genre. So I think I'll like this. I hope so. Freshwater by Akwekwere Emezi. This will be my second Akwekwere Emezi book. The only book I've read by them is Pet. I absolutely love Pet Down. It's a YA book. I give it 5 stars. The reason I picked this one up, because it was Akwekwere Emezi and I did want to read another one of their books, and the main character's name is Ada, which is also my name. All Nigerians have 25 names. Ada is one of my names, and Ada means the first daughter of your father, so either a title or one of your names. So the way I'm summarizing the synopsis is about a young Nigerian girl goes to United States for college, has a traumatic experience on campus, and they already have like multiple selves inside them, so it's like multiple personality disorder. I don't want to call it multiple personality disorder, that's not what Kweke is calling it, but basically has multiple personalities in their head, and I think something happened. These personalities are also prone to violence, and something happens that maybe brings the violence out front and center. I don't really know, but all I know is this is probably going to be very atmospheric, very beautifully written. Akweke writes atmospheric and beautiful books. Yeah, excited for that one. Probably the most TBR book on here is Rosewater by Tade Thompson. I have to read it this time. So this is basically, I can tell you the synopsis of this book off the top of my dome, and I've never even read it. The last time I even looked at the back of the book was probably a year ago, but it's been on so many TBRs. But basically, it's about a dome society that is in futuristic Nigeria, and this man who is like, there's kind of like a separation between those that are inside the dome, those that are outside the dome. This man, I think he's like a felon or some sort, but he enters the dome and something strange is going on in the dome. Literally, I just said I could tell you the synopsis on the top of my head, but that's a horrible synopsis, but you would get the gist of it. And yeah, very heavy on the sci-fi. He's a government agent with a criminal past. I love, you know, anarchy, government agent going rogue. I should have read this book a long time ago. This is my last adult fantasy. I actually don't know what this book is about. I got it from my sister and she hated it, so which means I'll love it. So this book takes place in 1850s Louisiana, which I usually don't read historical books. I actually hate historical books. And the main character here escapes slavery and learns about freedom while working in a brothel after being initiated into eternal life. Basically, this is a historical sapphic vampire romance. Yeah, I think I'm gonna love it. A historical vampire sapphic romance. That's like the best blurb you can give any book ever. Staying with adult books, let's go to This Close to Okay, or Adult Coming of Age is what I labeled these 2 books. Too Close to Okay by Lessa Clark Smith. The male character is about to unalive himself, and the main female character sees him about to unalive himself and jumps up, or she's driving, sees him on a bridge or some sort, jumps up to save him, to prevent him from unaliving himself. Their lives become intertwined from that point. So this looks like it'll be really sad, really heart-wrenching, really depressing. Interesting though that the main female character is a divorce therapist. I don't know, divorce is obviously going to play a part in this, because calling someone a divorce therapist, like, you wouldn't say that unless a divorce is like really pertinent to their characterization in the book. She's a divorce therapist and he's about to unalive himself, so I'm like, match made in heaven. They spend a weekend together. Yeah, seems interesting. The main male character looks like J. Cole, which is why I never picked up this book before, but it was $1.99 at Goodwill, or lies, it was $4.99. I didn't need to get this for $5. I could have got it at the bookstore. Anyways, that. The next book is Pieces by Helen Oyeyemi. I labeled this as coming of age. I do not know what genre this would be technically, but basically it's about this couple who isn't married yet, but they're a couple, and they kind of announce that they're a couple to their family. Their family gifts them with this trip. This trip is on a train, so it's like, you know, one of those trains that like goes through the Polar Express, or like the equivalent, like, you know, the somewhere where it's lots of really cold, lots of snow, and you kind of see through the mountains and all that. Gifts them with a gift on that train, but the train is not actually like that, because they seem to be the only people on the train, as well as the train is kind of really fitted to their taste. Like their breakfast is exactly what they would like it, the atmosphere, everything is kind of really too tailored to themselves, and I'm not even sure what the conflict is. Oh, they find a secretive woman as further clues and piles up. The trip upends everything they thought they knew. Just extremely vague, because it just goes from describing this train to like a trip just upends everything they knew about what mysterious woman, why is she mysterious, she's on the train with you, to, like, I don't get it. Is she mysterious because she's the only third person? Doesn't make sense. I always see Ellen Oyemi's books everywhere. Like, she has so many books, and I always pick it up and put it down because I actually don't know why. I think they're kind of like characterized as kind of sad. I don't really like to read sad books, but I think it's about time I read this book, you know? Like, she's Nigerian. I want to read this book because West African author, and I want to see if I like it. I want to read her other books. Let's go on to young adult books that I want to read. First one is Skin of the Sea. I started this book, YA fantasy. This is YA fantasy. Started this book a long time ago. It just really wasn't for me. I just didn't like it. I just really didn't like it. I hope I still have the bookmark. I do. I was on chapter 6, page 42. I usually like to get to page 100 before I DNF books. So I don't think I officially DNF'd this book. I just put it down. I was hoping I would pick it up again, but I had no desire to, and even not just no desire, I was like anti. So something in this book happened that I really didn't like, and I don't know what it was. I don't think it was that much. It's only 42 pages in, but I had no desire to continue reading it. But I need to decide whether I want to read it or not. The cover's so gorgeous, so I really want to finish it, so at least I can display it on my bookshelf, if I'm being completely honest. So it's those during the transatlantic slave trade. So those that are thrown overboard who have died, these people, these mermaids, are in charge of collecting their souls and helping them pass through safely. Then what happens in this book is that a live boy is thrown over. So someone who's not dead, someone whose soul cannot be collected. So the mermaid who is in charge, who is kind of like jurisdicting this area, does not know what to do with this boy. I think she kind of like resuscitates him or like helps him like gain his breath, and she's just at this crossroad because she doesn't know what to do, because now there's this live boy who knows she's a mermaid, and she just does not know what to do with him. I really want to know what happened with this book. Just something made me put it down and not want to pick it up, like actively be anti picking it up. I don't know what that was. Next one is Blood Like Magic. This was a book that I bought solely because of the cover. My favorite color is purple. It has a black girl with a fro on top of it. Blood Like Magic is a YA fantasy. I also did a video where I made like an outfit inspired by this cover, or a TikTok where an outfit inspired by this cover, and like I love the author. Like some authors, like I love them as a person even though I've never read their books. The author is just, I just love all of her TikToks, or is it TikToks, or her TikToks or her interviews. Whenever she talks, whatever she says, I love it. I just have no desire to read this book, and I do not know why. I have no idea. I am very sensitive to YA books about, like, you know, just trials and just like very hard family dynamics. Maybe that's it. That has something to do with it, but for some reason I've never had the inkling to pick this up. This is the month I need to read it or give it away this month. So that one, YA fantasy. Same with Blood Scion. I know I haven't picked this one up actually, but I feel like this book is going to be a very hard read. And because of that, I have been very hesitant to read it, but I feel like, come on, grow the hell up. If it's a YA book, it's made for people who are literally 10 years younger than you. If they can read it, you can read it. Like, it's going to be emotionally charged, and it's going to be probably a hard to read, especially because they're children, but I should freaking read it. Just as following one girl's journey of magic and justice, power, and revenge, the emotionally charged debut from Deborah Faye, inspired by Yoruba Nigerian mythology, will utterly thrill and capture fans of Children, Blood and Bone and An Ember in the Ashes. Hopefully I can read all these books this month. There are 22 books, I think, this month. Ace of Spades. This has been on this has been on my last 2 years Black History Month TBRs. And again, one of those books where I'm just like, I feel like I'm just gonna be really too sensitive to these books. Like, I'm a little punk when it comes to books. Like, I like my happy, because a happily ever after is not guaranteed in anything but a romance. So I don't know. But again, I love this author. Another author that I love without even reading any of their books, which says a lot about me, I guess. I don't know what, but it says a lot. So I'm gonna read this. It's a dark academia about it's supposed to be like Gossip Girl but black, but what exactly does that mean? When people blurb things like that, like what exactly are you saying? Are you saying if every character in Gossip Girl was black, the whole story would not be possible? This is dark academia. Someone is taunting the main male and main female character. I think they're being racist and they're also being homophobic. I think both characters are queer, and they kind of have a quest to kind of find out who is doing this to them. I think something along those lines. The drawing of the characters is so gorgeous. Like, whoever's the artist. Oh, and the last one is actually a graphic novel by my favorite author in the whole world, Dr. Nnedi Okorafor, After the Rain. I picked this up because it's by Dr. Nnedi Okorafor, and the main character's name is Chioma. My name. I just love seeing it. There's something about seeing your name on a book, and because I know it's like such a common name, but wow. And it's a graphic novel, and the art is so cute. Can you even see that? The art is so cute. Story of trauma, a young Nigerian American woman who has a dark secret and mysterious meaning that are brought to bear while visiting her grandmother in Nigeria. Literally my entire life. So I'm going to read that. That should be a nice palette cleanser or graphic novel. Real cute. Next one I have is YA coming of age. Don't know why I showed you the postage. Hurricane Summer. This is Caribbean coming of age. She's part Jamaican, and this girl's father leaves and spends 6 months in Jamaica every year. 1 year she goes with him and kind of finds out like about his life and about herself and things like that. Just coming of age, you know. It's just really, someone goes somewhere, someone does something and finds out about themselves. Yeah, Tila's forced to face a storm that unravels in her life as she learns about the dark secrets that lie beyond the veil of paradise. Yeah, so that can really be put on, I feel like, every coming of age, but I like the first generation aspect of this. I can relate. I hope I can relate. I'm not Caribbean, but I feel like, you know, coming of age, first generation. That's that one. The cover is gorgeous, but yeah, I'll be reading that one. The second one I can relate so directly. I think the first, yeah, the main character also has my name. Her name is Ada. Oh my gosh, even in the first it says Ada means first daughter, means oldest girl, means pressure. Ada means you are expected to do a lot of things because the honor of this family rests on your back. I could have that tattooed on my forehead. I feel like if you're on social media or somehow you end up on like African Talk, you hear the rhetoric about the eldest daughter in African households, and that. And next book is By the Book by Jasmine Gollery. Jasmine Gollery is my favorite romance author. Jasmine Gollery is such a good romance author. Like, she just knows how to write a good contemporary romance. Sometimes they're romantic comedy, sometimes they're not. She has a formula, and I think there's a conversation to be had about like writers who have formulas, like formulaic writers, whether or not their writing styles are diverse enough or blah blah blah. I eat it up. Jasmine Gollery cannot write a bad book. I'm here to say that all of her books are so fun, so good. Oh, and she loves a woman who is lost in her career. Jasmine Gollery loves a woman lost in her career. She not to expect to be 25, still living at home, and one of the few black employees at her publishing house, which is funny because I'm like, that's just the norm at this point. Overworking, underpaid, girl, tell it. Constantly torn between speaking up or stifling herself. Yep. Oh my gosh. How all she has to do is go to the author's Santa Barbara mansion and give him a pep talk. This is gonna be good because it's Jasmine Gollery. I feel like I'm gonna read this in between all of the adult fantasy and all the fantasy I have as like a palette cleanser, and then get back to all the fantasy. Because I'm gonna give this book at least 4 stars. This book is a book I never should have bought. I never should have bought. There is no reason, but this was back before I learned that you do not need to buy every single book out there. It's called Congratulations, It Should Have Been Me. It's by Darren Lowery. I just realized, is this by a man? And the reason that is a big deal, it's a reason that is a big deal that this is maybe by a man, it's because of the present premise. This girl, dating, she has a boyfriend, right? She goes to a wedding for one of like her high school classmates, or she's the +1 for someone at a wedding. She's at the wedding, she's sitting, she's enjoying, she's like recollecting with all those people. She is, you know, everything's getting set up, be quiet, everyone's there. She sees the groom. It is her boyfriend. It is the current boy that she's dating. It is her boyfriend. Her boyfriend went away for the weekend. She's going to this wedding. He's supposed to be on a trip. He is the groom. She is dating the groom at this wedding, right? So you see that premise, and you see the issue I have if this is written by a man is it's giving Tyler Perry. Because one thing Tyler Perry loves is a black woman who's struggling, a black woman who's in pain, a black woman who should settle for less. Tyler Perry wants black women to suffer. So if that's the case, not that this man is Tyler Perry, I don't know this man from Adam, but red flags are going off. This book must have been from the 90s, because Full Figure Tiffany, the way they're just describing her is just very like 2010. That may as well be the 90s. 11 months into their relationship, Tiffany is sure he's going to propose. Girl, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? And then they have an argument. So he wasn't even supposed to be on a trip. They have an argument. He storms up. She goes on to this wedding to cheer herself up. Oh my gosh. The bride of the wedding is her cousin, a cousin she's not too fond of. This is mess. This is mess. This is mess. They don't even say anything. I actually don't even think this is a romance. They don't say anything about any other love interest. They just say, and Darren's a groom, and that's how the synopsis ends. Mess. This just feels like something Tyler Perry is going to make in a movie in the next 10 years, and I don't want no parts of it, but I already have it, so I gotta read it. I could unhaul it, but I feel like it'll be a fun read. I don't think it'll actually be a fun read. I think it'll be it'll be an interesting thing. Anyways, those are all the books I plan to read for Black History Month. There are about 21, 22 books here. Will I read them all? Hopefully. That would be amazing. Probably not, because that's way too much. Let me know what books you're reading for Black History Month. Let me know if you've read any of these books. What do you think of them? All that good stuff. Yeah, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Wow, what was that? Bye.